Greetings, 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 peace, love, harmony, and the light. This is your brother Chief Kalinago with another build. Man, I'm telling you, life is grand, life is beautiful. I want to acknowledge the great spirit. Some of you may call God, but I call the great spirit. Want to give thanks to my ancestors for guidance and protection and just discernment. You know what I mean? And for insight and vision and outsight and everything, man, that's needed, in this day and age that we're in. Like I said, it's such a beautiful time. And life is for the living. Life is not for the dead. All right. So wake up, get up, and rise, my people. Rise. All right. Do me a favor, guys. Please, on your respective platforms, go ahead and share the information, because I'm going to give you some great information as usual. All right. Now, it's great information depending on your perspective, right? But I've been telling y'all things are changing. All right. And things are in place. And for the people who are still asleep, people who are still in a coma, they will not get it. You feel me? But if you position yourself accordingly, remember I told y'all before, successful people became successful by the decisions that they made. Now, you cannot say that you didn't know, because I'm giving you the information. So I'm going to share some great information with y'all. By all means, do your own research, do your own due diligence. The information that I'm about to share with you, it's in the description. Also, my email is in the description. If you so wish to also follow us on Telegram, our community of wealth building amongst ourselves, feel free to join our Telegram and keep updated with our progress. Okay. Let me see. What I'm going to do is let me just share that with you guys real quick. All right, man. I keep telling you how it's a beautiful time to be alive. Y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get it, man. I just put the Telegram info in the chat, so you guys could go ahead and join us on Telegram. All right. Telegram. Hey, peace and love, brother Sago. Hope all is well. Hope all is well, man. Do me a favor, guys. Go ahead and share the information. I'm gonna get into this real quick. For those of you who are gonna miss the live, catch the recording, okay? Because it is going to be recorded. So the first thing I'm gonna share with you is what's happening with the currency. Remember, regardless of what currency that we have or any nation or country has, the currency has to be backed by the energy of the people. Okay, so we are the ones who give those things value. Bottom line. Okay, so let me share my screen and let's get into this. Okay, you know what? Let me also get my other phone so I can make sure when I'm sharing this, I can see what I'm sharing. Okay, bear with me here, guys. Bear with me. Let me go to YouTube on my phone as well. I hope everybody's doing well, man. I really appreciate y'all. Like I told y'all before, I'm still here, putting in that work. I'm just doing a lot of things behind the scenes. That's all. Let me see. Where we at? Okay, here we go. Let me see. All right, here. All right. So I could just see what I'm sharing here with you guys. All right. All right, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, peace and love, my sister, my beloved sister Onyx. What it is, what it is, what it is. All right, so let me share my screen. Share my screen with you, and let's go here. All righty, I'm gonna share that. There might be a slight delay, so I'll wait till I see it on the screen. Okay. Now, once again, I'm just here sharing information for educational purposes, so do your own research. I just like people to be prepared. That's all. I really don't want you guys getting caught off guard. All right. Normally, when there is a recession, it follows with a depression. All right. And it could be looked upon from two different perspectives, because remember, so as above, so is below. So if there's a positive, there got to be a negative. If there's a negative, there got to be a positive. Now, a lot of times during suffrage or Any experience that people may deemed not good or bad, they only look at it from one perspective. You feel me? They are not elevated enough in their thinking to realize that where there's a curse, there's always a gift. Everything is based on perspective. So because we are in a recession, now you have to look for the gift in the recession. You have to look for that. All right. And I'm going to share that with you guys right now, because once again, it's a beautiful thing. This is about the have and the have-nots. And the have-nots have an opportunity to become millionaires, create that new legacy, set a new legacy. And that's what it's all about. You feel me? Stop struggling, man. Now, you call yourself gods and kings and queens and goddesses and all that, but people are running out here broke, busted, and disgusted. Now, this is not reality. I could only speak for myself. I didn't manifest here to be broke, poor, and busted and disgusted. No. If I was part of the creative process, why would I want to come here and live my worst life and then wait until my physical body goes to the ground to enjoy the best life in the other realm? No, that is religious dogma. Okay, live your best life here, because it's the only life that you are going to experience in the avatar that you are in right now. I guarantee you, and this is no speculation, it's a fact, that you will never, ever reincarnate into this realm in the same avatar / body that you are in. So make it your best life. Be joyful, be happy, stop being miserable. Stop listening to people that's not going anywhere. Stop listening to people that's filled with pride, because pride comes before the fall. Everybody's on the internet, competing, debating. I know more than you, but yet still everybody's broke. And a few people with a few $1,000s, they think they're rich. No. There's a difference between rich and wealthy. It's easy for a rich man or a rich woman to become broke. But when you're wealthy, trust me, man, it doesn't matter how deep you dig, you will never be broke. And that's what we are working on, wealth, and not to become rich. Change things around. Now, I can't speak for anybody again, but I could only speak for myself. My great-grandmother and my great-grandfather on both my parents' side, they didn't leave us anything. Why? It's not because they didn't want to. It's because they didn't have anything to pass on. As a matter of fact, 2 of them left homes with a mortgage. A mortgage is a debt pledge. Okay, only dead people have mortgages, because that's what it means. Debt pledge. Definition of mortgage. As a matter of fact, you know what? When I'm always talking, I like to show and prove what I talk about. Even, I really didn't want to go and look at the etymology of the meaning of debt pledge, but of mortgage, but why not go look at it, right? Let's go look at this. Okay. I think it's etymology of mortgage, or meaning of mortgage. All right. I think, either way we'll find out, and we'll find the true meaning of that. Okay. Because people have to be aware of what's really going on, man. You got to be aware, because how can you prepare yourself if you don't know the reality of what you are living with and in? You cannot go to war without knowing what your enemy is or who your enemy is. All right. Security, a loan agreement, mortgage. There we go. Right. Etymology. And for those of you who don't know what an etymology of a word is, it's the origin of the word. Okay. The energy it was meant to carry. You feel me? So with that being said, I strongly suggest that you guys get familiar with etymology of words. It's the origin within a certain era of what a word means. Not a definition, but a meaning. There's a difference between a definition and a meaning. Okay? Just to let y'all know. Give me a second here. All right. Like I told y'all before, I didn't abandon y'all. I just had things to do. That's it. You know, in life is about progression and building yourself and putting yourself in a better position. And that's what I've been doing. And I've been talking to you guys for months, if not years now, to get y'all on the same page so we could take this journey together. But people want to keep playing games. So go ahead and play the games. But I'll continue to bring the information to you because I feel like that's my purpose. All right. So mortgage, right? Mortgage. What? Literally what? A dead pledge. Right here. I didn't make this up. Mortgage. Literally a dead pledge. So-called because the deal dies when the debt is paid or when payments fails. Okay? But a lot of you don't realize that when you give your deposit, that already secured the house for you. However, they give you what's called an installment contract that creates a mortgage. And they put you in the grave for 30 years. Hopefully you resurrect. But most people don't resurrect from a mortgage. So it's a dead pledge. So I want to teach you how to live. Life is for the living, not for the dead. Having a mortgage is not an investment. It's a liability. Period, point blank. Facts over feelings. You feel me? Now, look what I just told y'all. I'm not making it up, right? A conveyance of property on condition as a security for a loan or what? An agreement. Because what they do is they announce to yourself, they give you what's called a installment agreement, a contract. And hence you are giving up power of attorney. And that's what they do. But you don't know. And that's called fraud because there was no prior informed full disclosure. There was no full disclosure. So it becomes a dead pledge is null and void if you know what you're doing. But because a lot of people are not taking action collectively, these mortgages and these banks are taking advantage of the people who don't know. But if everyone right now who knows the truth get up and say, hey, that was done fraudulently because I wasn't informed. Had I known that when I gave you that deposit, that money was already, that house was already mine. That land was already mine. And you tricked me into filling out another agreement that's called a mortgage. That's fraud. But you see, people perish for the lack of knowledge. So I'm just giving you the information and you could devise a plan on how to get out of this situation and start experiencing life as a living man or woman, not as a person. Okay? A person is a legal entity. But as a man or a woman, where the only person that have jurisdiction over you is yourself and your creator. That's it. Period, point blank. Okay? So let us go look at what the central banks are doing around the world. Okay? Central banks sketch out digital currency as China forges ahead. What you have to know is this. This is about a competition. All right? The race war has nothing to do with your skin color. The race war is truly and has always been about economic power, about those who could race to the top. The race war for the space program, that was a race war to see who could get to space first. The race war about economics, that was a race. The race about who have the biggest guns and the biggest tank, that was a race. But too many of you think it's about the color of your skin. This is about the have and the have-nots. And you are not in the predicament that you are in because of the color of your skin. No, it's because of the mindset, the lack of knowledge. Grown people don't go around calling themselves a crayon, a color in a crayon box, and blaming it on the color of their skin. Informed people don't do that. So let us do some reading, because reading is fun for the mental. And I'm actually speaking to you guys, okay, or with you and not to you, because I'm just passionate, all right? That's all you hear in my voice. It's passion, not frustration, okay? So here we go. London Reuters, a group of 7 major central banks, including the Federal Reserve, set out on Friday how a digital currency could look like to help catch up with China's trailblazing. Let's talk about that here for a second. For those of you who don't know, it is literally 7 families that control the world. All right. And the Federal Reserve are controlled by one of those families. The federal government is not a country, it's a foreign corporation. And a lot of you go around calling yourself a United States citizen, not realizing that you are actually what? A ward of a corporation. How can you be a citizen of a corporation? And I'm not just saying that. I could prove that again. And I like to prove everything that I'm talking about. So with that being said, let us go look at Title 28, Section 300, Title 3002, subsection 15A. And again, those are not my words. It's coming straight from the US codes, okay? I'm just showing you the information because it's there for everybody to see. All right? So here we are. Come on, man. For some reason, Bing is always showing up as my default browser, and I don't know, I think my computer may have a bug for some reason. Anyway, let's go with this. Title 18, pardon me. Okay? Title 18. Here we go. Let us go look at Cornell. Let's read that. Guys, let me know if you could see my screen. Go ahead and type 1, please. I just need some participation. All right. And I'm certainly sure a lot of you guys are familiar with that because I've taught that before, and I'm certainly sure other people have as well. But it's relevant because of what we are talking about. I have to connect the dots. I appreciate that, Zazie. Thank you. Okay. So here we are. For those of you who don't believe me, I don't want you to believe me, because in the word believe is the word lie. So you see, I like to stand on facts and truth. And I'm not the one making this up. I'm not the one making this up. It's here for you to see with your own eyes. Title 28, U.S. Code, Section 3002, definitions. Let's go straight to 15. Straight to 15. And please, I would like anyone in the chat to go ahead and go ahead and type in what the United States means. Please, if you could see this, look at 15A, and type in what is the meaning, or what does the United States mean? Anybody. Because I want y'all to see this for yourself and type it in so that it sinks in. Can anybody go ahead and type that in for me, please? If you could see, those who have eyes, let them see, and ears, let them hear. I'll wait. I got some time. My next Zoom is not until 3 o'clock. Thank you. Thank you, Onyx. A federal corporation. So how can you be the citizen of a corporation? I'll wait. You see how you were tricked into giving up your unalienable rights? Your rights from the Creator. You see how you were tricked into giving it up because you are chasing an illusion. I didn't make this up. So nobody could go anywhere and say, well, Chief Kalinago said no. Those are their own codes. They say if you want to hide anything from a you know what, put it in a book. Well, guess what? I'm not one of those, because I read, I study. Study to show thyself improved. And many of you will see that information and still fall into the trap of calling yourself a United States citizen, because you want the benefits of the corporation. 7 families and the federal government, what they call a government, is nothing but a corporation. Okay? That's running your lives, deciding what's good for you, what's bad for you. Yes, the code is 28, Title 28, U.S. Code, Section 3002, and go down to subsection 15, capital A. Okay? That is the definition of the United States, a corporation. So let's go back now, because you see, it's all coherent. We are all tying everything in now. And I'm going to read that again. A group of 7 major central banks, including what? The U.S. Federal Reserve. That's right. It is part of the 7 families that's been controlling the world. So now your mind will be opened up, okay, to see how all this is playing out right now, and whether the Democrats is really trying to help you, or is Trump trying to really help you. You feel me? Come on. So here we are, a group of 7 major central banks, including the United States Federal Reserve, set out on Friday how a digital currency could look like to help catch up with China's trailblazing and leapfrog private projects like Facebook Inc., Libra stablecoin. Even Facebook got their own stablecoin. But every day we on Facebook making Facebook more wealthy by the minute. But we will not take the time to work on our own portfolio. You feel me? I've been talking to you guys for months right now. Let's come together and work on these projects that our community is working on. You feel me? But a lot of you allow other people, okay, to get into your mind. People who are miserable. And you are robbing yourself from the gifts that I bring. Now, you ain't got to call me Santa Claus because I don't believe in Christmas. But I am bringing gifts because I want you to be better. I want you to do better. I want you to live life and not struggle and not survive. Life is for the living. Wake up, get up, stop being dead. Now, the central banks and the Bank of International Settlements, BIS, said core features should include resilience, availability at low or no cost, appropriate standards and clear legal framework, and an appropriate role for what? The private sector. Let us focus on the private sector here for a second. Many of you don't realize that there is 2 systems. Well, actually, there's 3 governmental systems in the United States. Okay? There was supposed to be one for we, the indigenous people. They got rid of that completely because the indigenous people forgot who they were and they became Black and African American and Negroes and niggers. Okay? And then you have the United States. That was for the pale man and their descendants. And then you have the Republic. That was for the so-called Black nobles that came from England, that came from Scotland, that came from Ireland. King James and his tribes, which the tribe of King James is the 12 tribes of Israel. Those are his people. He was the first Jacobite. But that's a whole different story. Okay, I'm just breaking down what the setup was supposed to be. So the only 2 so-called governmental entities that surfaced was the United States and what? The Republic. That's why when you pledge allegiance to what? The United States and the Republic. How come you never hear about the Republic? That is because the United States made you a slave. The corporation made you a slave. The 7 world bankers made you a slave. But the private sector still exists, where men and women deal with each other. But in the United States corporation, persons exist, and they only exist on paper. You are not real in that world. If you don't believe me, go look at that movie, Alice in Wonderland. That's your story. That's your story. Because they have gotten rid of the private sector. It's still here, but many people don't know about it. But it's still alive and well. And trust me, the Democrats aren't trying to bring back the Republic. And I'll just leave it as that. Because a lot of you are caught up in politics. Not politics, but politics. You are being tricked. And like I keep telling y'all, as indigenous people, we have every right to create our own. But hey, what do Chief Kalinago know, huh? Bank of England, BOE, Deputy Governor and Chair of the BIS, and remember what BIS is, Bank for International Settlements, Committee on Payments, Jean Conlife, said the rise in cashless what? Cashless payments. Why do you think they're taking your coins away? Because coins are precious metals. Guess what? I held on to mine. Since lockdowns to fight the pandemic has accelerated how technology is changing forms of money. I've been telling y'all this for months. For months. Okay. It's not too late though. Central banks began looking closely at digital currencies after Facebook last year announced its yet to be launched digital token Libra that would be backed by a mixture of what? Major currencies and government debt. Come on, man. The body behind Libra has since tweaked plans and now hopes to launch several stablecoins backed by individual currencies. You see, I told y'all before, I'm a visionary. And if when I was talking to y'all from the get-go and y'all wanted to come together and forget the egos and forget the competition, competing amongst ourselves to see who know more, we would have been further as a group of people. That's why I had to leave it alone. Because I realized I cannot carry dead weight. And I'm by no means I'm calling you dead weight. I'm just saying that I had to move forward, free up my wings and do what I had to do. I cannot save people. I'm not in the business of saving people. However, my purpose is to give you the information and you make informed decision on how to change your life. I could bring you to the well, but I can't force you to drink water. Aren't you tired of going to people's jobs every single day for 10, 15, 12 hours? There's only 24 hours in the day. When you give the wealthy people 10 or 12 or 15 of that, what do you have left? Then yet still they tell you you're supposed to sleep for at least 6 or 8. So if you give them 10 hours a day, you sleep for 8 hours, that's 18 hours. You got to take care of your children. When you look, you only have 2 left for yourself. Tired, you can't do anything else. But yet still you sit around and complain. Children complain. Am I talking to grown men and women, or am I talking to children? No disrespect. I could only bring the facts. I'm not here for likes. I am here for the love. Period. So whether you like this video or not, it don't make me any difference. The point is, it got a view. Okay? So here we go. Central banks need to keep up to avoid the private sector plugging payments gaps in unsuitable ways, Conlife said. Besides the Fed and the BOE, the Bank of England, the 7 central banks that have teamed up with the BIS include the European Central Banks, the Swiss National Bank, and the Bank of Japan, but not the People's Bank of China. Because you see, China is tired of saying, you know what? We are tired of being controlled by y'all. We are going to do our own thing. Come on. We all talking about we indigenous, but we on here debating each other. I cannot be a part of that. No. I truly want to link with people with like minds. And when I say like minds, I'm talking about mind like mind. Like mine. Because you see, it's easy to say you want to link up with like minds, but yet still your mind is jacked up. So obviously you're going to attract people just like you. And that's fine. But I want to attract people in our community with a mind like mine. Because I know what my mind is like. You feel me? I know what my mind is like. Because I'm building a legacy. I'm building wealth. And I have the path. I know the how. I know the means. I understand this system. And thank you, lovely Bliss. I appreciate you supporting the super chat. Okay? I appreciate that. It means a lot. Okay? China is already piloting a digital renminbi with the PBOC saying it would boost the yuan's reach in a world currently dominated by the dollar. I keep telling y'all, they're trying to take the dollar down. That's why I bought $3 million of Iraqi dinar. I bought $3 million of the Vietnamese dong. And I'm going to buy some more, because the lower the value of the US currency goes, the higher the value of other currencies go, because they're building their economy. Like I said, I'm a visionary. Right now, I'm looking at my portfolio with my coins, and Ethereum is going up. I told y'all that months ago. I brought a program to show you, let's come together and start collecting Ethereum. Y'all didn't want to hear me. But like I said, you're going to fall back and say, damn, Chief was telling us that months ago. In fact, it's literally almost a year and a half, 2 years. I've been telling y'all that now. But I'm going to continue to bring the information. Japan's top financial diplomat, Kinji Okumura, said on Thursday that China was seeking to win a first mover advantage in the building its own digital currency, warning it was something we should be afraid of. Okay? I don't think this is a race between central banks, Conleafy said, adding that no one central bank digital currency answer was going to dominate the whole world. Benoit Kouré, head of the innovation at the BIS, said there was no international race. Yeah, right. So you remember what I told y'all the real race is about? It ain't got nothing to do with the color of your skin, okay? It's about economic power. But there was an advantage for central banks to quickly catch up with the private sector and get ahead of the curve to shape the future. That's why I said we are living in a beautiful time, because we have a chance to launch the private sector and be treated, okay, or stand on the fact that we are men and women and not wards of state. The International Monetary Fund could play an important role in dealing with any cross-border spillovers from a national CBDC, Kura said. All right. Now, I'm not going to read the rest of this. All right. That information is in the link below. So, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. All I'm just saying is I am showing you again that all this information is pertinent, okay, to us moving forward. You want to be relevant? You have to become a financial superpower. I keep teaching you guys, and I keep encouraging you guys, please stop being a consumer, because consumers get consumed. Consumers get consumed. Stop being so prideful about spending $1.3 trillion every year. That's nothing to be proud of. However, when you have $1.3 trillion of investment power, that's when you become a power. Global power. So that's why I am going to reiterate that this recession that's literally transforming into a depression is a gift or a curse. It depends on your perspective and positioning and by the decisions that you make. You feel me? Decisions. Successful people don't get rich by working for money. No, they get rich by the decisions that they make. It's time to change your legacy. What is your purpose? Stop chasing money. Anything that you chase will run away from you. Period. What is your purpose? Find your purpose, and the money will come. Money is the easiest thing to come. It's part of the laws of attraction. You position yourself, it will fall into your lap. Period. It's your mindset. The definition of poor, P-O-O-R, is passing over opportunities repeatedly. That's why you stay poor. Successful people see opportunities. Broke people see everything as a scam. I'm going to repeat that. Successful people see opportunities. Broke people see everything as a scam. That's why you continue to stay broke. And don't get me wrong, there are people out there scamming people. Yes. But does that mean you have to give up? No. When you see, when you saw Michael Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, all the greats in the game, when their shot was off, did they stop taking shots? No. Do you think when LeBron keeps shooting and he keeps missing and he's down by 15 points, do you think LeBron is going to stop taking shots? No. LeBron won that ball because he's going to keep shooting. It doesn't matter how much he misses. He's going to keep shooting. It's only when you stop shooting, you are going to miss your target. You got to keep going, family. That's why I will never stop. I have gotten into programs and literally I have lost thousands of dollars. Was I scammed? No. It was a risk that I took. But I know that the risk that I took is a risk. But the rewards are going to be greater than the risk that I took. Period. It's okay to fail. The only time failure is not an option is when you have perfected the game. Then you will never fail. But never give up. See how long the system have been robbing us, and you're still fighting to be part of the system and depend on the system. Come on, man. It's time for the little man and the little woman to stand up and become the superpower that we are, become the giants that we are. And let's start changing the faces on these currencies and start putting our faces on there. Come on. And we all have the power to do that. We've been there. We have had our faces on currencies before. Why can't we do it again? There is nothing new under the sun. But once again, it's the mindset that's crippling you. Hatred, self-hate. Self-hate will perpetuate hatred for others. Point blank. Let us go to the next slide. Because I've been telling you guys about NESARA, GESARA. And this is a program that's real. And a lot of other countries have implemented it. And of course, the US have to follow. But they're not going to tell you about it. They're not. So when I keep telling y'all, demons, a demon. Okay, let us go look at the etymology of a demon. Because I like to bring things for people to see. All right? I don't just like to talk about it. I want you to see the visual, because once you have seen the visual, people say seeing is believing. I want you to see the visual. Etymology of demon. Etymology of demon. We're going to look at the origin, all right, of the word demon. Okay, here we are. Demon, etymology, an evil spirit. A spirit is a form of an energy, okay? Malignant, supernatural being, an incubus, a devil. Let us stop right here, okay? How could the demon cracks be for you when the energy is all about incubus, to suck your energy? That's what it's about. So how can you get caught up wanting to be a democrat and supporting that kind of energy? Right here. Something including souls of the dead. Come on, man. Now, once again, I'm not telling you that Republicans are better. All I'm just saying is look to see who's truly making an effort to bring back the unalienable rights of the people. But a lot of you are too blind to see. They are telling you who they are in the prefix of the term Democrats, Democrat, demons. Demons. Now, let us go look at the word con. The etymology of the word con. These people are telling you who they are right before your face. Con, negation, in the negative. The argument argues pretty much voters against a proposal. A convict, a con artist, Congress. They are telling you who they are. So why are you always depending on these people to do what's honorable? Why are you doing that? When Congress is already telling you, we are conning you. The Democrats are already telling you, we are demons. Come on, man. Wake up, people, wake up. Wake up, man. Why didn't they call themselves progress? Because to be pro is to be for. So why didn't they call themselves progress opposed to Congress? Let me tell you something. All these words, they were chosen strategically because they have an obligation to tell the public. They have an obligation because it's a voluntary system. It's all voluntary. But you think that it's law. No, it's not law. The only people that could make law on any land are the original people, the indigenous people. Occupiers could only create statutes and codes and ordinances. That's all they could ever implement. They cannot implement law. The law comes from the original. Period, point blank. That's why they had to put you in a position to give up your originality and become Black or African American, or even tell you are African. Because that means you have no rights that were supposed to be established on your native land. Everything is a spiritual war because everything starts in the spiritual realm. That's why so as above, so is below. And again, I'm going to use the allegorical, and I'm saying allegorical Bible, all right? The allegorical Bible says right in the allegorical Lord's Prayer, our Father who art in heaven, let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So as above, so is below. So our ancestors are in the spiritual realm fighting the same demons that we are fighting. And you are not helping them because guess what? You have become a victim of this system. And it's not that they don't want to intervene. They cannot intervene because you have free will. You have to ask them to intervene. You have to want them to intervene. They cannot infringe on your free will because we are all gods. A God cannot infringe on another's God free will. But however, you have to give permission. Its energy is just like a vampire, a Dracula. A vampire cannot come into your house unless it's invited. It could never come through the back door. It has to come through the front door. So these vampires, they come through the front door and they let you vote for them. Voting is giving consent. You consent to what they do to you. You voluntarily gave up your rights because you have become a civilian. Come on. Let us look at the etymology of the word civilian. And I mean, I know I was getting into the NESARA, GESARA, but you know me. I just go with the flow, all right? All right, I just go with the flow. Yes, peace, brother Sanchez. Yeah, man, I'm doing great, brother. Just been working on my portfolio, bro, and life is grand. Life is grand. I hope everything is okay with you. Thanks for stopping by. And you're absolutely right. People in general, they just believe that voting for these demons will change their lives, not realizing that they're just usurping your energy. They're vampires. Okay, now civilian, judge or authority on civil law. Judge or authority on civil law, from the civil law created from Latin civilis, relating to what? A citizen. Now, once you have become, and also what it says, a civilian is a non-military what? A clerical person. So the point I'm making is this. When you call yourself a civilian, you have given up your rights, because now you only have privileges. Our ancestors never fought for civil rights. No, they took up the fight of the civilians, because you cannot be a civilian in your own land, just like how you cannot be exiled in your own land. But our people were tricked into picking up the fight of civilians. The true civilians were the pale people. They were the civilians. The civil rights was literally about so-called white people. But our people took it up upon themselves. You feel me? Come on, man. And family, that's what I like to do, family. Break things down so that a child could comprehend. That's where the real school is. And I don't have to put up a cash app to give you that information. I've done with all that because I've found ways to be autonomous. I have found ways to build my portfolio. It's all love. I'm doing this because of the love. You feel me? So, which brings me to the point that when you call again yourself a civilian, so you see, our people took up the fight of civilians because that's who we are. We stood up. A lot of people don't know that the first set of slaves on this mainland was, or just in the Americas period, was the so-called American Indians, the Aboriginals. But then you had Queen Isabella and Ferdinand. They had a soft spot for the Aboriginals. So what these nobles did, they say, okay, you know what? We are going to enslave so-called white people. So all the millions of slaves that came here, it wasn't so-called black Africans. No, it was so-called white people. That's why there is no such thing as white history, because they don't want you to know. Their masters were the so-called black people, all the way up into the late 1700s. King James was a so-called black man. King George was a so-called black man. Why do you think the American Revolution started? because they were fighting against their black slave masters. But now you have a lot of these so-called white people walking around like they are greater than thou. No. Your masters were people who look just like me. But they tricked you. They reversed the situation. Of course, they had help from people who look just like us. And I won't get into that. That's a whole nother story. But the point I'm making is, it is not about the color of your skin. Because they were all enslaved. It was a system by the system. And all the stories you hear about people jumping off of ships with their babies and pregnant women, that wasn't so-called black people. That was so-called white people. It's all records. I guarantee you, all the people who call themselves Africans here in the United States, they are not Africans. And there's no record of them coming from Africa. But I promise you, there are records of so-called white people coming here as so-called indentured servants and slaves. But they will not let you know that. I'm emphasizing all that to say the Civil War was about them. It wasn't about us. Our people didn't have to fight for the right to vote because we were not part of that system. Our ancestors didn't die to vote. Our ancestors died because our land was stolen. Our rights were taken. It wasn't about trying to vote. We were not supposed to be a part of that system. Period, point blank. And if you don't believe me, let us go look at the etymology of the word census. Y'all gonna learn today. Okay, let's look at the etymology of the word census, which was the first one was in 1790. Okay, census in reference to registration and taxation in Rome. Like I keep telling y'all, when you're in Rome, you do as the Romans do. But because you couldn't be in Rome physically, they brought Rome to us. And guess who the original Romans were? People who look just like us. That's why every skin folk and kinfolk. Y'all don't want to hear the facts, but that's all I know. That's all I know. In reference to registration, when you register something, what do? You give up your rights. When you register something, you give up your rights. You give up ownership. You give up ownership. So y'all can go ahead and keep filling out their censuses. Go ahead. Just so you know, that wasn't instituted until the 1790. That's not part of our culture. And nobody could force you as an indigenous man or woman to take their census. It is voluntary. It is not law. Once again, foreign occupiers cannot create laws on indigenous land. They could only create what? Statutes, codes, and ordinances. What they call law is not law. We are the only ones who could set the foundation of law. That's why the allegorical Moshe had to go to what? Go on high in the burning bushes. Go to the Most High. What does that mean? The people on high. To get what? To get the law. And at that time, Moses had to hear the law, which is L-O-R-E. L-O-R-E is traditional folklore that's passed down verbally. But he had to write it down and give it to the people. And I've showed y'all the true meaning of law and the word. So here we are. Census came from Rome. The enrollment of names and property assessment of all Roman what? Citizens. So when you call yourself a United States citizen, you are nothing but an extension of a Roman citizen. Because Rome, Britain, England, they are all on the same landmass. These people have been fighting each other for centuries. Okay? Come on, man. And how many of you know about Indians not taxed, not to be enumerated? It's all here. Our ancestors were not part of this. We were not supposed to be part of this system. But what? They literally gave us the shining, glittering promises. And because of the Indian Citizen Act of 1924, they made all so-called American Indians citizens of the United States, but with a provision. Okay? Come on, man. Well, a lot of people are asking, how do you fix that? You fix that by just being you. A lot of people think, you have to create all these documents. No, we have to stand up as a people and change that. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I tell people it's a declaration. When the United States wanted their independence from their so-called black slave masters in England, don't get it twisted. A lot of people don't have foresight to realize that wars were going on all over the world, where the so-called white man was fighting to free himself. Mulattoes was fighting to free themselves, help their so-called white parents to free themselves all over the world, even before the Revolutionary War in America. So when they were fighting to free themselves, they wasn't fighting to free themselves from their fathers and mothers. No, they were fighting to free themselves from the black kings and queens. And they finally won. Open up your eyes, man. Let me ask you another logical question. If you're fighting for your independence, why would you go to the people who enslaved you to fight for help? I'm going to ask you again. If you are fighting for your independence from Britain, why would you go from the same people that you're fighting to get your independence from so that they could help you? Why don't people think? The only reason why they were able to get help from Britain is because the so-called white power in Britain, they had taken over the so-called black nobles. That's when they got their power. So now the so-called white people in America, they were able to get help from Britain. But until then, they couldn't get any help because they were still under the so-called black monarchy. So you're looking at a fraud king and queen in England. They are not the original nobility. So it's only when they won the war in England, okay? It's only when they won that war in Britain, they were able to get help in the United States. I know a lot of y'all are going to get it. I know a lot of y'all are going to get it. I'm going to ask you again. If you're fighting from your independence from your capital, which is Britain, why would you go get help from the same people who enslaved you? No. A lot of you don't know that it was the black nobles that enslaved them. And then when they won the war in England, they got help from their people in England and fought that war here in the United States. And they declared their independence. You feel me? So y'all better realize what's going on. His story is not the story. The people who won the war wrote the story. Period. So we are nothing but prisoners of war in our land. We've been here. No millions of Africans came here. That's a lie. However, millions of so-called different ethnic groups of white people came here because there's records of that. Go to Ellis Island. All the documents are there. They were the slaves who came here. Period, point blank. Now, mind you, okay, King James brought his tribes here. King James was the one who wrote the Bible. Okay, he was the first Jacobite. And he said that he got a vision when he wrestled with an angel. Okay, and an angel is nothing but an angle of light. Okay, if you look at the word angel, you will see there's angle. What's an angel? A light, a beam. So he got a vision to call himself Israelite. And he promised his people that he's going to take over this land. That's hence it became the promised land. That's why I don't call my ancestral land the promised land. It's already mine. So it can't be promised to me. It's already mine. It was promised to the Israelites, which are the descendants, the children of King James and his tribes. The Israelites are originally from Ireland and Scotland. Harriet Tubman was a Stuart. She was a Highlander from Scotland. And she wasn't freeing no damn slaves. She was freeing the nobles. And it was our people who showed her the underground path to Canada. Y'all gonna learn today. So when they're telling you their stories, that 12 years of slavery is not our story. No, that's not our story. Who do you think owned Hollywood? The 7 world bankers. They own Hollywood. So of course they're gonna flip the story around. Come on, man. When you look at movies, everything deals with what you call pictorials. Okay? Pictorials. And everything deals with frames. All right? And frames and pictorials and pixels are used to manipulate things. And that's all Hollywood do. They manipulate pictures, okay, so that they could imprint those things on your mind. And it's being done repetitively, so that in your subconscious, you become the slave. In your subconscious, you become a victim and not a victor. In your mind, you become weak, because that's what's being perpetuated. I didn't come from slaves. That is not my story. That is not my reality. Okay? Before I go to NESARA, GESARA, let us go look at the etymology of police. But I want y'all to see, man, I've already taught you guys this, but repetition is the key. Because I haven't been on here for a while. I miss y'all. Okay? Police. The regulation and control of a community. Similar what? In sense to of what? Policy. Middle French, police. Organize what? Organize government. Civil what? Administration. You call yourself a civilian, you have a right to be policed. You call yourself a civilian, you have a right to deal with what? The policies. Let us go look at etymology of policy, because you got the word police from policy. It's all interchangeable. Policy, way of what? Management. 14th century what? Policy. A police and a policy is the same thing. It's a political organization that's controlling your state of mind. What do you think a state is? Everything starts in the spiritual realm. They control your mind. They could make you a citizen of their state. It's a state of mind. They create the policies and they have the police to implement the policy. Come on. I mean, if Michael Jackson were alive right now, he'd say, Chief, come on. Woohoo. Come on, man. My people. I don't know, man. All I could do, like I said, I'm only the messenger, man. That's all I am. All right? That's all I am. Now, let us go to NESARA, GESARA. All right? And let us see exactly what that is. NESARA, GESARA, the National/Global Economic Security and Reformation Act. All countries around the world are accepting and have accepted secretly the Reformation Act. How would I put it? In layman's term, the Reformation Act is literally, the world is tired of those criminals taking advantage of people. So they want to get rid of everybody's debt. Remember, we are living in a different age. It's a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual thing. NESARA is the most groundbreaking reformation to sweep not only the United States of America, you hear that? Not only the United States, but the whole planet. Thus, GESARA in its entire history. The act does away with what? Federal Reserve Bank. You hear that? So once again, I'm going to give y'all a clue. The Democrats, they don't want to implement NESARA GESARA. Okay? So once again, know what Trump is doing. For all those of you who are blind, Trump was mentioned in the allegorical Bible. When the trumpet sounded, the year of the Jubilee, the trumpet will sound. Y'all gonna learn today. But go ahead, keep playing politics with your emotions. Y'all gonna learn the hard way. Now let us read that again. The act does away with what? The Federal Reserve Bank, the IRS, the shadow government, and much more. NESARA implements the following changes. Y'all gonna learn. If only you want to learn, I could only present the information to you. Okay? All the people, the deep state actors that are controlling your lives, there are good people and bad people in the world. And there are more good people in the world than there are bad. It's all a decision. It's a choice that we make. God and the devil exist in you. The one that wins is the one you feed the most. So if you want to be a God, then you walk like a God, you talk like a God, and you act like a God. Too many of you running around here calling yourself gods, but you are nothing but the devil. You can't fool me. I see right through you. I see right through you. So here we go. This is what the Reformation Act is intended to do. Zeroes out all credit, not some credit, all credit. And what? Mortgage, remember? That's why I have to go and show you what mortgage meant. A dead pledge. We have stepped into a new dimension where dead people will not be allowed to live, because life is for the living and not the dead. So if you refuse to accept the reality and the knowledge that I'm giving you, then you'll be considered a dead person, a dead individual, and this life moving forward is not for you. Once you are spiritually dead, then that means you are physically dead. Period, point blank. You hear that? Zero out all credit card, mortgage, and other bank debt due to what? Illegal banking and government activities. This is the Federal Reserve's worst nightmare. A jubilee. Didn't I just talk about jubilee? A forgiveness of debt? In the Bible, wasn't Trump mentioned with the Jubilee? For all you blind folks, y'all have no idea what's going on. But y'all hate the man, not realizing that all this stuff is ordained. And once again, I'm not saying that any one of them is for us. I'm not saying that. All I'm just saying is keep your eyes open and know what's really what. You feel me? Let's read some more. Abolishes the IRS. Employees of the IRS will be transferred into what? The U.S. Treasury National Sales Tax area. Creates a 14% flat rate, non-essential new items, only sales tax revenue for the government. In other words, food and medicine will not be taxed. Nor will used items such as old homes. Okay? So no more you will be paying land taxes, because the government isn't supposed to own land. In fact, nobody is supposed to own land. It's there for the people, for the use of the people, to have dominion, but not own it. Period. Increased benefits for senior citizens. Return constitutional law to all courts and what? Legal matters. So no longer can they promote and govern you under what? The color of law. But y'all are distracted. No longer can they look at you as a legal person, but they have to deal with you in their courts as a man or a woman. However, if you want to volunteer and give up your rights, that's on you. Guess what? reinstate the original title of what? Nobility Amendment. Do you know what that means? The original 13th Amendment. They have to bring it back. Establishes the new presidential and congressional elections within what? 120 days after NESARA's announcement. The interim, meaning that in between, the government will cancel all national emergencies and return us back to what? Constitutional law. Let the trumpet sound. Let the trumpet sound. For those of you who don't know, you're trying to block the trumpet from sounding. The Democrats are trying to prevent the trumpet from sounding, but it's all ordained and spiritual. They cannot stop it. Bring back that constitutional law, the rights of the people. Bring back that republic. Period. Monitors elections and prevents illegal election activities of special interest groups. Creates a new what? U.S. Treasury. Rainbow currency backed by what? By gold, silver, platinum, precious metals, ending the bankruptcy of the United States initiated by what? Franklin Roosevelt in 1933. Come on, man. If you're with me right now, go ahead and type in the chat 111. Right now, that high frequency, that's what we on right now. Go ahead and type that 111 333 444. Go ahead and put it in. Come on, man. Come on. Y'all gonna learn today if you want to learn today. That's what Trump is fighting for. But the Democrats don't want to give it to you. So if y'all don't know, y'all better recognize. Now, next, forbids the sale of what? American birth certificate records as chattel property, bonds by the U.S. Department of Transportation. Why is your birth certificate being controlled by what? The Department of Transportation. Because what? It's called transferring goods. You are nothing but goods and chattel. But right now, the Reformation Act is preventing that. No longer can they make you chattel property by selling your birth certificates. Come on, man. Let me know where else y'all gonna go and find it like that. Breaking it down so that a child could comprehend. I'm gonna read that again. Forbids the sale of what? American birth certificate records as chattel property, bonds by the U.S. Department of Transportation, DOT. Come on. Initiates new U.S. Treasury bank system in alignment with what? Constitutional law. Didn't I show y'all already that when you look at Trump and the flag, and I'm going to show y'all again, initiates new U.S. Treasury bank system in alignment with constitutional law. Eliminates the Federal Reserve System. During the transition period, the Federal Reserve will be allowed to operate side by side with the U.S. Treasury for 1 year in order to remove what? All federal notes from the money supply. Get rid of those devils. Restores what? Financial privacy. So guess what? As from peer-to-peer transactions, we are able to do our own peer-to-peer transaction and not be penalized for it because there is privacy. Restrain what? Retrain all judges and attorneys in what? Constitutional law. Because right now they are all dealing with you and they are all persecuting you with what's called color of law. Color of law is not constitutional law. Okay? Ceases all aggressive U.S. government military actions worldwide. Why do you think Trump is bringing the troops home? Because y'all don't know what's going on. Establishes peace throughout the world because we are living in a different dimension. There has to be peace. It's prophecy. It's spiritual. Releases enormous sums of money for what? Humanitarian purposes. Enables the release of over 6,000 patents of suppressed technologies that are being withheld from what? The public under the guise of national security. They have to let it go. including what? Free energy devices. Pretty soon, none of us will be paying for energy. Anti-gravity and sonic healing machines. Come on, man. If you're ready to step into your godhood, go ahead and type again 333. If you're ready to step into your godhood, go ahead and type number 13, because 13 is the number of all gods. 13. Y'all gonna learn today. Period, point blank. So the point I'm making is this. Things are changing. All you have to do is position yourself. Position yourself. And for those who are asking, well, how do you implement the Reformation Act? If you have a student loan, if you have a mortgage, call your mortgage, your debt company. Okay? Call your debt company and ask them, what is the status of your debt? Most likely it's already wiped out. You see, they don't want the general public to know, because they're doing it in secret. You feel me? So call your debt company if you have a mortgage, if you have all major credit card debts, but once you get out of debt, you cannot put yourself back in debt. Okay? You cannot put yourself back in debt, because that means all your sins have been forgiven. Okay? Don't backslide. You see, a lot of you don't know what the Bible is about. Well, Chief Kalanago is breaking it down for y'all. Okay? The Reformation Act is nothing but the new version of what they call Jesus. Died for your sins. It's all allegorical. So the Reformation Act is taking away all your sins. What is a sin? A sin is a debt that you owe. You feel me? So call your mortgage company, call your debt company, and ask them what's the status of your debt. Don't be surprised if they tell you it's zero. If it's not zero, tell them you would like to apply for the debt forgiveness program. Okay? Tell them that you would like to participate in the debt forgiveness program. They might act like they don't know what you're talking about. Ask them if they have one. Okay, and if I were you, I would record that conversation. And you don't have to do it in secret, because they always tell you, well, this conversation is being recorded. You could say the same thing. Whenever I call these people, I let them know that my call is being recorded for training purposes. Period. So I could use that for the record. Okay? That's how you deal with that situation right here. So moving forward, life is not for the dead. It's only for the living. Okay, it's only for the living. All right? So I hope you guys enjoy this build right here. Like I said, man, I haven't forgotten about y'all, honestly. You know what I mean? I just had to fall back and handle me. The first person the first individual you got to save yourself. You cannot help save anyone unless you save yourself. All right? And I realize on the internet, everybody is competing against each other, debating who was here first, who was here last. Man, listen, all that stuff don't mean nothing. Period. It's about how you position yourself. Okay? How you position yourself. But we have an edge as the original people, because that means only we could make true laws, authentic laws. Okay? Only we could do that. All right? So just wanted to come here and bring some information for y'all. Let y'all know I appreciate, love y'all, and I'm still here with you. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. It's all good. Okay? All right. Before I get out of here, I wanted to kind of show y'all one more thing. Okay, one more thing, which I've shown you guys before, but it's always important to kind of reiterate the information, because that's how the programming is done. Okay? The constant repetition, that's how they program each and every one of us, because we keep hearing the same thing through the media, and it's the same thing. Don't get caught up with the hype. All right? This is where the real knowledge is at. This is where school is. Okay? You guys are absolutely welcome, man. You're welcome. Like I said, this is my purpose. All right? And I love and appreciate each and every one of y'all, for real. Like real talk. Okay? Let me see. All right. So let me just share this with y'all one more time. When you call again yourself a civilian, civil, it is all the same foundation of the same other root of the word. So we are going to look at that word right there. Give me a second. All right. Okay. So let us go right here. We are going to look at, let me share my screen one more time. All right. Why do they call you a civilian? Because remember, everything is voluntary. Okay. You are the one that volunteered to be, to be a civilian. All right. Because you call yourself civilians. All right. So let us go look at the term. Okay. Civilian or civil or civiliter matus. So also, anytime you call yourself Black or African American, okay, Negro, you literally, you are considered what is a term called civiliter matus, which means civiliter civilly means a person, civil character or position by civil, not criminal process. Matus, Latin dead. Okay, dead. So a lot of times when you hear the term DOA, dead on arrival, that means that it's a person with the status of a civiliter matus. Okay, a person who is dead. Let me see if I could go pull up something. Give me a second here. Give me a second here, guys. Let me just go ahead. Bear with me here, because like I said, I'm just flowing right now. The lesson wasn't pre-planned. I just got up and, the Spirit moved me to come bring you guys this information. So I just want to come and bring that to y'all. All right. Let me see. Let me see if it's in Black's Law. Give me a second. All righty, here we go. Let's go to Black's Law Dictionary, and I'm going to share that with y'all. Okay. So when you call yourself a civilian, you fall under these categories if you don't know how to assert your right, because as a civilian, you get to be governed by what's called the color of law. So with the Reformation Act, they have to stop doing that. All courts have to stop doing that. Okay. The only time you have committed a crime is when you have hurt someone, damaged somebody's property, or defrauded someone. Okay, all these minor infractions are not breaking the law. They are just statutes and codes. Okay. Now, civiliter matus, civilly dead in the view of the law. So when you call yourself Black or African American, that's what you are. So when they shoot you or kill you in the streets, they are literally killing a person who's already dead, if that makes sense, in the eyes of the law. That's why they get away with it. That's why they get away with it. The condition of one has lost his what? Civil rights and capacities and is accounted dead in what? In law. Okay? That's why they want you to be Black. And people have this foolish pride. Obviously, your skin ain't black. So family, I'm just here to share the information with you. You do what you want with it. Okay? It's time to teach the children. Some people are too gone. You can't help them. But it's time to teach the children. That's where the true education is. It's not in the schools. They are teaching our children how to be civilians, how to be citizens of a corporation. Okay? All right. Okay. So I'm going to conclude this video. Once again, this evening, I have a presentation on Zoom. I keep bringing that information to you guys. I have a presentation on Zoom. For those of you who want the invite to the Zoom, send me an email. Our community, we have come together, all right, and we have created a program, foolproof program, with everybody playing their part, where each and every one of us will get $63,000 between 6 to 8 weeks. I keep telling y'all, and we could all use that money to do what we have to do with it. Okay? I'm only here bringing solutions. I keep telling y'all I'm solution based. And let me just conclude on this. A lot of people are asking me, well, Chief, how do you status? Let me tell y'all something. This whole status thing is overrated. I'm just being honest. Okay? If you live in a state where the county clerk don't want to file your documents, it's overrated. And they're not doing their job. And that's what the Reformation Act is going to make sure those people do their jobs, or else, you see what I'm saying? They're violating your rights. And that's a fine of up to $10,000 or a year in jail. Okay? Period, point blank. They cannot govern you by the color of law unless you make it voluntary, unless you consent. You feel me? So declaring who you are is not really that difficult. The only challenge is, will the county clerk file your document? That's all. You feel me? That's it. You can literally write on a piece of paper. On Facebook, that's a public platform. That's a declaration declaring who you are. Do a video on YouTube. Declare who you are. Who you truly are. Status correction is truly you walking in who you are every single day. That's it. That is the truest form of correcting your status. But then you could solidify that by doing a declaration and putting that, sending it, filing it in the county clerk. Providing that they do their job like they're supposed to. But with the Reformation Act, they could no longer prevent people from doing that because they have to do their jobs. They will be arrested. So you have to make sure the sheriffs that are actually elected doing their jobs. The people have the power. Period. We, the people, have the power. We created governments to work for us, not us work for governments. But y'all too blind to realize that the trumpet has sounded. All right? So and again, I'm not here to give any type of advice. No legal advice, no financial advice. I'm just here to drop the knowledge and you do what you want with it. Okay? No, sis, I don't have a Patreon. I would rather just come give the information for free. You know what I mean? I would just rather do that. If anybody want to support me, they could ask for my Cash App and I'll send it to them. But I'm good. Like I said, you know what? I'm just doing this for the love. That's it. I don't want to put myself under any pressure having to want to ask anybody for anything. Because the minute a Negro give you $1, the Negro think you owe him something. I don't want to deal with these people with this kind of mindset. If people appreciate what I do, they could ask for my information and I'll send it to them. As a matter of fact, I would even prefer if they ask for my email and join our program, because I don't want nothing from nobody. I want to give people. I want to help people. I want to build people. I'm good. I'm already a millionaire. I'm working towards being a billionaire right now. You feel me? So I want to help. Period. Okay? So with that being said, I'm doing a presentation this evening on Zoom. Okay? Our community, we have an amazing program. All right? Foolproof program. Once the community plays their part, we all will get $63,000 within 6 to 8 weeks. Now, you do what you want with yours. I know what I'm going to do with mine. I'm going to get me some land, all right? And I'm going to leave off, I'm going to leave off the land. And when I say leave off the land, I'm talking about grow my own food, solar energy. I mean, literally, solar transportation, everything, because that's the era that we're stepping into, where people have to be autonomous. Self-reliance, okay? Communities coming together and building. All right, so Lovely Bliss. My email is in the link below. By all means, send me an email, not to ask for my Cash App. If you want to, support, that's fine. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? anybody who wants to, I appreciate that. But, you know, to be part of the program, it's an amazing program. All right. So I will plug you in, and we could do this. We got work to do, and we have enough time. I've been looking at my Ethereum today, and it's just growing and growing. I've been looking at my stocks. It's just growing and growing. You know what I mean? Everything in life, family, is a risk. You know what I'm saying? The money I put into the stock market, it's a risk that I took. You feel me? But I'm hoping for the best. And so, you know, there are days when I see it taking some hits, and there are days I see it doubling. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with my Ethereum, my Litecoin, my Bitcoin. There are days I see it drop, and that's cool. But then there are days I see it rise. So my portfolio is amazing. You feel me? And I am going to buy some more Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong. I have 3 million worth of each of them. So I'm already $1 million in those countries. I'm going to buy some more. And I'm buying precious metals such as fractional gold and silver. You know, and I'm buying Bitcoin by fractions, by increments, until I get to a whole Bitcoin. I'm not stressing myself. A Bitcoin right now is literally close to $11,000. So every time, you know, I get a little something, I buy bits and bits of Bitcoin until I'm able to buy my full Bitcoin. Because once that thing get to where I know in a few years, a Bitcoin might cost $1 million. You know what I'm saying? You got to open up your mind, fam. Open up your mind. And remember, get away from that low vibrations that a lot of people are vibrating in. This is not about color of skin. This is about the have and the have-nots, period. Judge people based on how they deal with you, not what they look like. All right, that's just facts. So with that being said, I'm about to conclude this. I've been on here for 1 hour and 31 minutes. Man, I had such a great time with y'all. All right, I'm going to put the email in the link for all those of you who want the info for the Zoom this evening, Wealth Builders 7.0 at gmail.com. For all those of you who want to be a part of the presentation this evening, I just posted the email. Go ahead and send me an email. I only have 100 people. It's only 100 people that my Zoom, the capacity. So, you know, come in, 15 minutes before and secure your spot. A lot of great information. We have a great community and I'm talking about like truly like minds working together, and we are building each other socially and financially. Okay. And that's what we are doing. And if you have that positive energy, if you're willing to work together with us, then we welcome you. That's what we're looking for. We don't need no negative people. We don't need no naysayers. We don't need lazy people. We don't need none of that. We want people that's going to come together and do what we got to do to get out from under this rut and step into this new dimension, all right, as the gods and kings and queens and goddesses that we are, all right? I send nothing but love and positive energy to each and every one of you. I wish you the best, and I want what's best for you, and that's why I do what I do, okay? Talk to y'all soon. Peace and love.